Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to give you a quick update from the previous video. If you haven't seen that, just click up on the screen, I'll put a link up somewhere to it, just in case you want to go back and watch that. So I got many questions from that first video that I did. This is a month later, so a whole month's gone by now since that first video. So if you notice, I'm not wearing a sling now on my arm. Still got the thing on my hand, the brace on my thumb there, look. But I'm not wearing the sling there, I've still got it here. I still have to put it on occasionally, just in case my arm, when your shoulder gets tired, when you're not resting it, you know, when you're out walking around, sometimes it gets tired if you've been, if you've had it out of the sling for a while. So I can move my arm up about that high. Obviously this one just goes straight up like that. But I can move it about there, and then it starts pulling on your shoulder there. So it's a bit tight there still. I'll try and show you at the end what it looks like now, obviously a month later. So like I said, the police was at the scene, all that. Now the driver has admitted he didn't see me at all for whatever reason, so he didn't see me. So he's admitted that to the police. So the witness in the car behind him said he could see me coming from right back up the road. Like I said, this road is dead straight, 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, dead straight road. I was doing 22.3 mile an hour. That's what I was doing and it was a 40-mile-an-hour limit. I'll say, beautiful day, perfect weather, bone dry, summer's day, about 1:15 in the afternoon, roughly. So you couldn't get any better weather. So, regards to the driver, obviously, like I said, he didn't see me. Admitted that to the police. So, the police said, well, we can give him, as a punishment, £100 fine and 3 points on his licence. And then he said, but I don't think that's enough. And I was like, yeah, too right, that's not enough. I thought if that was an elderly person, they would have been killed. I would expect from that sort of impact, they probably would have been killed. Or if it was a motorbike coming down there at the speed limit and they went straight into that car at 40 miles an hour, then what would have happened? So they said, well, what we can do is we'll make him retake his driving test, and then if he fails, we look to take his licence away. So, and like I just said then, they'll look to take his licence away. Doesn't mean they will take his licence away, they'll look to take it away if he fails. The other thing is, in the UK at the moment, even if you're a new driver trying to pass your test for the first time, say 17 or whatever, 18, there's like a 6-month waiting list just for a new driver to get their test done. So if you're retaking your test, how long would that take? It could take a year. So that person could still be driving around for a whole year, no problem. So that's the first thing. So I've been back to the hospital a couple of days ago, and I thought when I go back they'll just do an x-ray on my shoulder to see what it's like now. I saw a doctor and they weren't doing an x-ray as it happens. I've got to go back again for an x-ray, and also need now an ultrasound scan on my thumb, because my thumb is causing more of a problem. Because I'll just show you, I've got a bottle there. Say if you want to undo a bottle, a sealed bottle, you can't just hold it like that and undo it, because your thumb ain't got no strength in it. As soon as you start doing that, it will start hurting the joint that goes into your hand where it's broken there. So you have to hold it like that with your little finger and undo it, or do it with your other hand, and like that. You can't do that. And same thing if you're turning a key in a lock, that's what that movement would hurt, would aggravate it. And same as holding a pen to write something. If you're holding a pen, you write about a sentence, and you have to put the pen down because you just can't hold it anymore with your thumb. It sort of makes that joint there ache, or you can't do it. So obviously in hospital they can move it, they take the brace off and you can move your thumb and they can get it to the exact point where to do it, so they know what it is. So if the tendon there, I mean the ligament, is come detached a bit from the bone, then you might have to have an operation to put it back again. So regards to my shoulder, that's how it is. So when I was in hospital originally, back when I done it, one doctor said, oh, the first one I saw say you need an operation on that, and then 2 days later you see a totally different doctor and they say, oh no, you don't need nothing done with that, we'll just leave that. So hence why that's how it is now. They've just left it like that. So that's how it'll be. And I'll show you it if I can at the end of the video so you can see what it looks like a month later. So that's those two things. Now with regards to like claiming or anything against the driver, now like I said earlier, the driver admitted that he didn't see me to the police, so he's already admitted that. So you think, oh, that's good, he's already admitted it. But when you do a claim, your insurance, whoever you're using, or a solicitor or whatever, they don't use the police file. So I've got a case number that goes to that police file that you give them. You would think that they would use the police case straight away because it's all there, all the evidence is there, everything's there, pictures, the whole lot. But they don't use it. They don't even use it because they got to pay to use it. I couldn't believe they have to pay to use the police case. That's one thing I just couldn't get my head around. All the evidence is there, but they have to pay to use it. So you have to go through all the rigmarole again of telling them what happened, blah blah blah, is it got any witness details, that sort of thing. Because what they have to do is they have to contact the person that was in the car. They have to contact his insurance company. So you need the registration number of the car and preferably his name and address if you got it, so they can find who it was, who the car owner is, like, you know, from that, and then contact their insurance, find out who's insured with. So they contact them, and then his insurance then, once they've been contacted, see, he might not have told his insurance about it, because obviously I hit the car, obviously it'll have a few dents in it, dent in the wing probably, dent in the bonnet, and then obviously no windscreen. But you could just get your windscreen repaired. He needn't have told his insurance about it. He could have just claimed for a windscreen or paid for it himself, put a new windscreen in the car. You could still drive the car, just got a couple of little dents in it from the bike hitting the car, but you can still drive it, nothing's stopping you. So he might not have even told his insurance company. So they contact his insurance company and then they got to wait. His insurance company will have 3 weeks to respond from the initial contact, and then it goes on from there. So anyone that thinks you'd be claiming and getting anything out of it, say that bike I was riding, say it was your only bike and your only kit, all of that kit would have been ruined. The only thing that survived was the socks. Rest of it is damaged. So you'd have to, if you wanted to ride again, say you was fit enough to ride again, you was thinking, oh, well, I need to buy a bike now and I need to buy all that kit. You have to pay for it if you want to go out again. So you'll have to fit the bill for the whole lot before you can ride again. So it doesn't matter how much the bike was, whatever you was riding, it could be a couple of £100 bike or it could be £5,000. You've still got to buy a replacement with your own money, in the hope that in the end you'll get it back again. Because if you want to ride, you're not going to wait. You could be waiting years for a bike for them to pay out for something. So you've got to foot the bill. And the same as if you was off work. If you're employed by, and obviously if you work for someone and they're paying your wages when you're off, like even sick pay, whatever, you're still getting something even when you're off. If you're self-employed, likelihood is you're not going to get anything, depending on your circumstances. You're not going to get anything while you're off. And also, the longer things go on, like the longer your injuries go on, the claim's never finished until you're 100% fit again. So if you say, for instance, I'll just use my thumb as an example. If I need an operation on that, then that has to be operated on. You have to wait for an appointment for it to be operated on further down the line. Then you've got to recover from that and get your use of your hand back fully again without any problems. Say if it was your leg and you need an operation on your leg, then you have to get fully fit again with no reoccurring problems. It could take years, literally years, and all that time the claim is still going on. It never be finalised until all these things are fully cleared up. And because they don't settle the claim until they know that you're fully, 100% sort of fit, and there's not going to be any reoccurring issues further down the line that you could have claimed for instance. So it'd never be settled. So it could take years, and all the time you're out of pocket, because if you couldn't work, you'll be on, say a minimal payment, minimal money coming in, and you probably couldn't survive on that much money because it wouldn't be enough that's coming in. So you'd be right out of pocket with that. So like I say, it's all interesting, like things I didn't know about it, because obviously I've never had to do this sort of thing before, and I hoped I would never have to do it. But I'm not the only one. It happens to countless people all the time, and many people like me. Before, I never give it second thought until something happens, and then you're like, oh, now I need to do something. You're like, what? Wonder what the process is. Wonder what happens. So thought I'd just do this update. It's a bit rambling on, I know, but I thought I'd just do the update just to keep you sort of posted on what's actually happening with it as it progresses along, and we see what how it goes. But what I've done, actually, I got some in the hope that I'll be back on the bike before long. Obviously, my knee as well is still above my kneecap with your tendon, what we damaged in the accident, where if you try and squat down, you can get down, you can't squat right down. It's impossible because your knee is still tight above your kneecap and over your kneecap. It still goes tight at the minute, so that's still not 100%. But anyway, I did get some daytime running lights just in case eventually, so I thought I'd get some, spur myself on sort of thing. Just got a couple of small ones just to put on the bike, just as an extra, as an extra. I know it's a bit late now, but I thought, well, I definitely ain't going out without them on now, because too many people seem to be distracted, or they just can't see, and they can't see cyclists. That seems to be sort of a given now, that you can't be seen. And the other thing is, I would highly recommend, don't wear any black clothing, etc. Always wear something that's a visible colour, bright colours. Not because, oh, you can be seen, look at that, easily. It helps, because if you're wearing dark colours and you've got dark coloured bike, etc., or particularly if you're wearing dark colours, you'll see someone on a bike riding along and they're wearing the dark colours. Now, it might look fashionable, whatever, but you can't be seen. It's a job to make anyone out, especially if you ain't got no lights on there. So if you're wearing dark colours, put some flashing lights on. Then you can still wear your dark colours, but it just helps to have lights and brighter coloured clothing, preferably not black, because you disappear. When you go into the shadows of trees, etc., along, you might be in the bright sunshine, then suddenly you go into shadows, you can hardly make out anyone that's wearing the dark colours. And another thing is, the reason I say that is, one of the first things you'll be asked is what colour your bike was, and what colour clothing you had on, and did you have lights on? that's some of the first things you'll be asked about it. So if you can answer, right, I had lights on, I had fluorescent colours on, and my bike was like bright yellow, then it's all in your favour. So that's also interesting. So the brighter stuff you're wearing, the better. In case something happens, then you've got the backup. And also, like many people said, I've got a camera now and this, that and the other. I've never rode with a camera up until now, but now you don't realise that when something like this happens and you suddenly think to yourself, yeah, actually a camera might not be a bad idea, just so you've got footage that saves in the event of something happening, or you can push a button on a camera and it will save an event, you know, like a near miss even, because everybody has near misses on a daily basis. That's unfortunately part of cycling as it is, you know. Everybody has near misses and thinks, oh, if I just film that, you could capture number plates. Even in some cases you could see the person in the car even. So it's all, you know, useful to have in the event of something happening. Then you wish you had the backup of the video, for instance. And also another thing is, if anything happens to you, if you know, like me, if you was there after the accident happened, I mean, the last thing you'll think, you're just thinking about, you know, I survived, Christ, that was lucky, you know, this is and that's broken, this is broken. You're not really thinking about anything else in the event of that, but try to think of other things, like try your hardest to remember what happened after. You might not remember the impact. Obviously I was knocked out, so I remember heading towards the wing of the car and then I was knocked out after that. I remember just sitting up like I am now, holding the underneath of my leg, sitting on the floor. Don't know how I got there, how I sat up, no idea. But after that, it's handy to remember, if you can, even if your head's ringing after it's just smashed into the windscreen, it's handy to remember things, you know, and try and, you know, as clearly as you can. And always keep a record of, if you can, just ask somebody their name at the scene or whatever, and just try and remember it as best you can. I know it's hard in a situation like that when all you're thinking about is, Christ, where's the ambulance? I've got to get out of here. You know, get me to hospital. I don't know what I've done. You know, that sort of thing. But all them tidbits of information come in really useful after you've got out of hospital, say, and then you're in a better frame of mind. You think, now, what was that person's name at the scene? You know, I remember their name. They said they was from, you know, try and get any witnesses. Just get them to write something down, stick it in your pocket even when you're all lying on the floor, because every little detail helps when it comes to making a claim or anything like that, a case. The more people that have seen it, you know, the better. Obviously, if you've got witnesses, it's all the better. If you haven't got a witness or any witnesses, then it's harder, because it's your word against theirs then. And like, you know, somebody will do anything to get out of it. Especially insurance companies, they'll do anything to escape paying a penny. Even if you've been paying, like I always say, you could have been paying into insurance your whole life, and then they'll do their utmost not to pay a penny when it comes down to the bottom line. So I've done enough rambling now, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you my shoulder so you can see what it's like a month later. Right guys, so I'll just quickly show you the shoulder. As you can see there, see that's a bruise there, you can see that's bruised, you can see a yellow like there, and it just goes round and sort of by your armpit there, it's still yellow. So that's a whole month later. And as you can see there, your shoulder, it's hard to show you it really. I'll show you it like that a bit, but what I'll do is I'll sit sideways on, I'll move around a bit if I can, and then I'll show you it sideways on so you can get a better understanding of what I'm saying about it. Right, so hang on. So there's like the natural position of it. So obviously your shoulder shouldn't be there, it should be back out of the way. You see what I mean? What happens is when it breaks off, your shoulder, because of the weight of your arm, it pulls your shoulder completely forward and down, whereas it should be back and up. So there you go. So that's a month later. That's what it looks like. So is it in the right place? No, is the answer to that. So remember, till next video, ride safe, keep your eye out for cars, and I'll see you on the next one.